As the series prepares for the eagerly anticipated Trial of Seven, in the Name of the Mother, the fifth episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, is expected to be the most significant one to date. A crazy new notion about the three-eyed raven has surfaced before it drops. A faithful adaptation of George R. R. Martin's Dunk and Egg novellas, the Game of Thrones prequel centers on Ser Duncan the Tall and his young squire Egg while gradually escalating into a confrontation with House Targaryen. But once Baelor Targaryen declared he would battle with Dunk, choose to side with the Hedge Knight instead of his own family, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 4 revealed the show was about to take a terrible turn. Some fans are re-examining what actually transpired in the Hedge Knight, with a deadly hypothesis returning, as the upcoming episode will show the beginning of that vicious conflict. Be advised that there are significant book spoilers coming. An explanation of the three-eyed raven idea from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. According to the hypothesis, Baelor Targaryen's death during the Trial of Seven may have been caused by a sinister magical force rather than a tragic accident. It specifically asks if the three-eyed raven may have influenced the course of events to determine the Targaryen line's future. You see, Baelor suffers a deadly injury during the Trial of Seven in the Hedge Knight, the first Dunk and Egg story. Prince Mikar, his brother, delivers the hit and subsequently considers what happened. Some folks will claim that I intended to murder my brother. I will hear the murmurs until the day I die, even though the gods know it's a lie. And I'm positive that my mace delivered the lethal blow, he claims. Only 3 Kingsguard, whose oaths prohibited them from doing anything more than defending themselves, were his opponents in the melee. I was the one. Oddly enough, I can't remember the hit that fractured his head. Is it a blessing or a curse? I guess some of both. Some fans are now putting out a more darker theory for why Baelor becomes involved, and why he is struck, since Episode 5 is expected to at least show the beginning of that fight. According to the appropriately named YouTube channel Three-Eyed Raven, Baelor may have been inspired by more than simply Dunk's direct sense of justice. They questioned, could he be stepping into a trap set by the Three-Eyed Raven? The Trial of Seven may be a door that opens to the influence of other entities, the notion goes. A fighting ritual or sacrifice that enables the Green Seers to step in. It alludes to Baelor's reputation as the perfect ruler and raises the possibility that this is the reason why a supernatural force would seek to have him eliminated before he could establish control over the Seven Kingdoms. It then immediately connects the concept to Game of Thrones. According to the reasoning, someone could possibly enter Mikar's mind to end Baelor's life, because Bran Stark has the same ability to enter minds as he did with Hodder. The response from the video is straightforward, but who could it have been? The actual Three-Eyed Raven. Brynden Rivers, also known as Blood Raven, a character from the Targaryen age who subsequently comes to be connected to the Three-Eyed Raven mythology, is then folded in. The idea speculates that his influence will begin to be seen in the next episodes, and that Bloodraven's involvement in later battles, like as the Blackfyre Rebellions, which Egg was heard singing about in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 3, suggests a long game. The Dunk and Egg books don't support any of this, and it would be a stretch to interpret Mikar's confused memory as evidence of mind control as opposed to combat confusion, trauma, or guilt. Nevertheless, it's an intriguing idea that was contemplated long before the HBO series debuted, especially since Episode 5 is set to depict the Trial of Seven. Fans of Dunk and Egg disprove the theory. 8 years ago, a Redditor posed the question, did Mikar really kill his brother? The mastermind behind this assassination would most likely be Bloodraven, they continued. In less than a year, Bloodraven is crowned Hand, Aerys I ascends to the throne, and the 4 individuals who stood in his path pass away. Baelor, father of the Great Spring Sickness, and his sons in the fray. Doesn't it go without saying that it may have been poison? I always read it as Mikar striking his brother without killing intent, yet it just so happened that the blow carried more weight than expected. One person responded, indicating that others were unsure about this leap. It's one of those situations where a straightforward action taken without careful consideration tends to have the worst outcome possible. Meki is not doing well. Nothing mystical or evil, just an oath that he cannot undo. It's very obvious that Bloodraven didn't exist when the Hedge Knight was written, at least not outside of George's hazy concept of the three-eyed crow, as another person noted. Before A Storm of Swords, there is no mention of the great bastards of Aegon IV. I accept Baelor's passing without question. It's a quite heartbreaking note with no underlying conspiracy. It's also important to note that even though Baelor's destiny is predetermined in the books, Seasons 5 and 6 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms won't reveal the outcome of the battle until February 15th and 23rd, respectively.